Hello friends, today we'll see how to make a Christmas cake that is paleo AIP as well as vegan. Now I had soaked overnight dried fruit, mix of dried fruit. So I have about one and a half cups of mixed together like dates, apricots as well as unsweetened dried cranberries. You can use even prunes, etc. And now preheat your oven at 300 degrees Fahrenheit, and then we'll start making the batter. I have 3/4 cups of cassava flour. I use Otto's brand. Um, and now I am going to mix a couple other things to this flour. So I have 2 tablespoons of carob, 3/4 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt. Now instead of carob, you can also use cocoa powder if you can tolerate that. Next, I'm adding 1/4 cup of olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. You can also use avocado oil. And this is very easy recipe because you're basically just dumping all ingredients together. Now, apple cider vinegar is also something that we'll use, but we'll only add it towards the end because that like really gets that activates the baking soda. So now I'm adding 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. You can use a little bit less if you like because we are adding so much dried fruit to it. And next I'm adding about half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. You can use any brand that works for you, and alcohol free for AIP. And next, now we'll finally add the apple cider vinegar. We need 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar, and that's about it. And next we just mix all the dried fruit. So now I had soaked the dried fruit in 1 cup of hot water, and I just add it along with all the water. Now you can soak this for anywhere between 2 to 12 to 16 hours, the dried fruit. I would recommend at least overnight is good, like about 8 hours. But if you don't have that much time, even 2 hours in hot water is okay. I really recommend you finely chop the dried fruit. As you can see, I have been lazy and I didn't really chop it that fine. So what happens is when you bake the cake, it becomes a little harder to cut it into good slices. Now lastly, we just add 1/4 cup of water, an additional 1/4 cup of water to the water that was there in the dried fruit. So now if you see the consistency, it's nice cake like batter. And now you can see the beginning of effervescence with that baking soda and that acid vinegar thing going on. And so you have to immediately bake it once you add all the ingredients, and within 5 minutes you should keep it to bake. So just greased loaf pan with coconut oil. I'm just putting parchment paper on top so that it's easy to get the cake out. And that's it. And now you just dump this mixture onto it and bake it. So see the mixture again. See, you can see how it is like slightly turned effervescent. So this is the perfect time for it to bake. Don't let it sit now. It has to go into the oven right now. And see, it's nice and thick and slightly bubbly. And yeah, just dump everything in there. It will rise really nicely. And lastly, I just like to add, now that I've been able to reintroduce some nuts, I like to add walnuts on top. Um, chopped walnuts or cashew nuts if you can tolerate them. But of course, they are not AIP. So if you are making a strict AIP version, you have to avoid that. And then additionally, I also like to add some more of my dried unsweetened cranberries. Now this is honestly cranberry brand, and I really really love it because it doesn't have any sweetener or sugar or even juice in it. I really love these cranberries. I'll put a link in the description box for these. So now this goes into the oven to bake at 300 for 45 to 50 minutes. So the cake has been baking for about 50 minutes. So see, I'm going to show you how, I poked it with this uh, barbecue pin, and see, it's not sticking at all. It's soft, but it's nothing is sticking to the metal. And now I'll let it cool for further 30 minutes. So cooling it is important before cutting it so that it's not crumbly. And see, the parchment makes it easy for it to just come out. See this beautiful loaf Christmas cake. This is absolutely beautiful, don't you think? And trust me, this is so delicious. Now to cut it, again, make thick slices, and do it gently with a sharp knife, because there's all this dried fruit in it, so it is kind of a little crumbly. That's why I said, let it cool, and also cut it into really fine chops. The dried fruit. That's it. Enjoy. Hope you like this recipe. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.